Hey everyone, Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Bumbi. Today it is all about how to make a perfect creamy pasta. And by saying perfect, I really mean all the possible tips and tricks that you need to follow whenever you are making any pasta recipe that has any kind of sauce involved in it. So let's get started. Let's start with the mushrooms. Sometimes if you keep your mushrooms for a few days in your refrigerator, you will see them looking a bit dull with a slight discoloration on them. Do not think they have gone bad. What you can do is just pinch off a little like this, starting from the base and going all around the mushrooms. And now you can see how it looks perfectly fine. Cut the mushrooms into about 1/4 of an inch of thickness. Always rinse your mushrooms thoroughly before chopping. Never soak your mushrooms in water, as that will make them soggy. Just give a quick rinse, shake off the excess water very well, and immediately chop them. Next, chop the bell peppers. You can even use green bell peppers. Okay, so we will start by stir frying the vegetables. Pan on high heat, oil. Once the oil starts shimmering, add the mushrooms. Stir the mushrooms on high heat. You will first see the mushrooms rendering out a lot of water. You want to get rid of all that moisture. Once all that water dries up, it's time for the bell peppers to dive into the pan. Add a sprinkle of salt and then freshly crushed black pepper. Stir till the bell peppers are well fried, but do not let them turn soft. The last thing you want is some soggy, tasteless bell peppers that are falling apart and looking pathetic. I added some chopped parsley, but you can add any greens according to your preference. Okay, so this is done, so we can now move on to making our creamy sauce. Pan on low heat and then butter. As soon as the butter melts, add flour. Now stir the flour for a few minutes on a low heat. You want to cook that flour a little bit, or else you will get this chalky aftertaste that will make you keep on thinking, oh, what is that in the sauce that is not tasting okay? It is actually the flour that gives that kind of a taste if it is not cooked well. Once you see the color turning to a shade light brown or a bit on the creamish side, then it's time for the milk to enter the scene. Take a whisk in one hand and pour the cold milk with your other hand. Add the milk a little at a time and whisk thoroughly while adding the milk. Now, if you add the milk all in one go, then you cannot get rid of the lumps. And guys, remember that we need to add cold milk. I take out the milk from the refrigerator just before making the sauce. Now I hear you saying, but the flour and butter is hot. Won't the flour clump up if cold milk is added? No, my friends, it won't. Cold milk to hot roux. This is the theory that I always follow without any disappointments. Just trust me. The only thing you need to remember is to stir the roux very well with each addition of milk and add the milk gradually. Add a sprinkle of salt and then freshly ground black pepper. As you can see, the sauce is very smooth and starting to thicken up. Dip a spoon in the sauce. The sauce should be able to coat the back of your spoon, and if you run your finger through it and the sauce stays to the other sides of the mark, you know it has thickened up perfectly. Time to add the seasonings. I added some Italian seasoning. Crush it well before adding to release the flavors. Then some red chili flakes to add a little bit of heat. You can even add a pinch of ground nutmeg. In fact, I usually add it but forgot to do so today and later realized that something was missing. The sauce thickens up more once it cools down, so this is the right consistency. So the sauce is done. And now we can move on to boiling the pasta, and here comes more tips. Always boil your pasta near the end so that you can add the pasta immediately to your sauce. Bring a large pot of water to a rolling boil, and please note that I mentioned the word large. Add a generous amount of salt and then add the pasta to the boiling water. Please do not add any oil to the water. Guys, please remember this. Never add oil while boiling pasta unless you are making lasagna or some kind of pasta salad. The oil makes the surface of the pasta slippery, and if you are making the surface slippery, then how can the pasta get coated with that sauce? You want that sauce to cling on to each piece of pasta, which won't happen if you add oil to the water. Boil the pasta according to the package directions. I always like to taste it to check for doneness, and I think that's the best test. My pasta is done, so now I will add it directly to the sauce. Again, never rinse your pasta after draining the water, as you want that starch to help the sauce to stick onto the pasta. You can drain out the water, but never rinse your pasta. And if you are draining the pasta using a colander or something else, then remember to save a cup of that starchy water. I will tell you why a little later. Now, I had asked a question on my community post where I asked whether you add oil while boiling your pasta or not. And so many of you said that you do add oil. Even I added oil when I first started cooking my pasta. But after reading many books, I realized that I had been doing everything so wrong. So guys, please do not add oil while boiling your pasta. Okay, next in goes the fried mushrooms and bell peppers. And finally, what is pasta without cheese? And when it comes to Bumbi, it's a shower of cheese. And then some parsley or any greens for that freshness. Now comes that explanation of the pasta water which I told you to save. This helps to loosen up the sauce and bring everything together. If you think the pasta is looking a bit dry, add some pasta water and everything will come together beautifully just the way you want it to be. The mushrooms and bell peppers bring in that chewiness, and then each and every piece of pasta is coated with that luscious sauce. You've got to try this recipe, my friends. I'm sure you will love it. Please smash that like button if you've enjoyed watching this video, and please do leave a comment or if you have any questions regarding this recipe. Bye bye.